It must be hard for MHKs having to have a break between July to late October. I'm reading all these out, come what may, along with all the paid jolly-ups. My heart bleeds for them. Try living in the real world on a minimum wage. If a minister and his department drop a clanger, and an expensive one at that, no accountability, just a sideways move. Just look at the money wasted on the slok. 60-hour week, I don't think, I won't name who you've said, I don't think someone's done 60 hours since he got elected. What do you think of the Laxi fiasco by the DOI and the MUA? I'm old enough, this is Chris, I'm old enough to remember in the 70s, the government took off the local authorities things like pavement repairs. We were led to believe this was going to be an all-singing, all-dancing department, giving continuity and synchronisation to the tasks. Obviously, the singing and dancing ideas are going to be financed by the government revenue via income tax. Latterly, with the enforced government austerity measures, the onus went back on local authorities. I don't remember the local authorities volunteering, so the public now has to contend with the rates going up as well. Well, there's some rates action at the moment, isn't there?
Yes, yeah. I mean, on that last point, the deal was, and all the local authorities signed up to it, because I made it clear to them I wasn't going to force them to do anything they didn't want to do, so they all signed up to it. And the cost of the services being transferred back to local authorities was around £1 million, and the Tynwald agreed increase in the gate fee at the incinerator was around about £1 million. So I said, right, okay, we'll freeze the gate fee, that won't go up, and we'll transfer the service. So it was a cost neutral transfer on that one. What was the first one that you read out? Because I thought that
there was the great. Oh, if a minister and his department drop a clanger, and an expensive one at that, no accountability.
Well, I don't know. I mean, certainly there was accountability for me. I mean, yes. I did hear the slok being mentioned there. It's a great little favourite, isn't it? The slok was the most cost-effective piece of work that was done during my time as minister. I had nothing to do with it in terms of decision making. The only thing I did, perhaps foolishly, was to try to defend the work that the officers had done. But pound per mile, it was the cheapest piece of work done over the last 5 years. And huge numbers of people use that road, particularly for recreational use, but the various sporting use. While the various roads have been closed, particularly the Shore Road, it's had an awful lot of use as well. Apparently, in Noel Kringle's time, as I think he was chairman of the Highway Board, they were talking about the need to do it, and it had been left. So, I mean, the Highway Board was abolished when the Ministerial Act came in, so that was probably 20, 30 years ago.
At what point do you, as a politician, disengage from criticism and name calling? At what point do you say enough's enough?
I don't know. I probably wasn't particularly good at that, and I should have done. I should have just said, that's the end of that. I'll switch it off. I do see some of my weaknesses in a number of ministers who seem to think that if they just keep engaging for long enough, they'll eventually persuade people. But I also see in the comments now that actually this is a form of entertainment. Let's see how long we can keep the minister engaged in a wind-up about a particular issue. So I think social media has a massive good influence to play in society. But I think we haven't really learned the rules of it yet, how to engage with it properly. I do remember one very prominent current minister saying, I haven't got time for social media. And I'm thinking, well, in one post, I had about 2,000 or 3,000 followers. In one post, I've reached 2,000 or 3,000 people, many of whom will be my constituents. How long would it take you to walk around and knock on the doors?
That, as you say, nobody quite knows the rules. They don't know whether a message board can be anything between a blackboard, a toilet wall, or an advertisement hoarding, and nobody quite knows what's what.